Hi, Doc. Welcome to this training titled What Every Chiropractor Must Know About Getting Found and Ranking #1 on Google in 2020. How to dominate the world's largest search engine and position your practice as the only logical choice for local residents in your town. I'm thrilled that you've joined me today because this information, when you dial it in, could potentially be worth 10, 20, 40 plus new patients per month to your practice. And this is passively, meaning that you dial in the systems one time and your website sits and ranks at the top of Google. If you're in a bigger market like a major city, this can lead to dozens of people walking in your door. And even if you're in a rural town, it can still mean an extra 5 or 10 new patients almost on autopilot each and every single month. So shut yourself away from all distractions. You know the drill. Get out of Facebook. If you have any questions, you can always post them in the chat or look me up on Facebook, Instagram. I'm readily all over the place and here for you. I want to help you thrive as we enter this new economy. Lots of stuff has been updated. There have been some changes, not just on social media, but also Google. So the idea of today is to get you up to speed and then really allow us to ramp things up very quickly. Now, before we get into the presentation, I'm going to offer you one of my most popular white papers. I want you to download it because it'll help you in so many areas, not just the whole online social media or Google marketing. This is called the Cultural Authority White Paper for Chiropractors, what every DC should have learned in school but didn't. You'll discover 11 professional and elegant ways to earn expert status, public trust, and prestige. All you need to do is go to dcincome.com/blog/authority. Tell us where to send that white paper and you'll receive extra value. I know that that information will really open your eyes to why people view other doctors as authorities, and it'll help you increase your conversion. So if they find you from Facebook or Google, instantly you're looked at as an expert. So this makes things very easy for you. So today I'm going to share a couple things. Number one, the most important elements of Google in 2020 and how to tilt the table in your favor so you have a competitive advantage. You'll discover the 21 keywords every chiropractor needs to rank well for this year, 14 top SEO factors that determine whether your website thrives or it sinks to the bottom of the search. You'll also learn the biggest mistakes and traps to avoid when trying to rank your website #1 on Google for any high traffic keyword, and we'll talk about a lot more. What the information will do for you is it'll show you the most popular and overlooked keywords in your local market to rank well for. You'll learn how to get 5 to 10x the amount of visibility you're currently getting. You can have a great message as you already know, but if no one sees you, no one knows about it, then you're not going to transform any lives or generate any more practice income. I'm going to help you demystify Google's algorithm once and for all and attract substantially more new patients into your office from Google search. My handle on social media is at Matthew Loop on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you go on Facebook, if you want to find my fan page, just look at Matthew J Loop, and it's the fan page that has over 63,000 fans, I believe it is, at this stage, just an FYI. So just to give you an idea and some background about me, myself, I'm a chiropractor like you. If you don't know who I am, graduated from college in 2004. In fact, I got caught up in the whole accreditation mishap at Life, if you recall that back in, I believe it was 2001. So I finished out my schooling at Logan, but I got the best of both worlds. And I thought I was just going to open a practice, hang a sign, and generate referrals. We didn't really get a large amount of business training in school, so I went through all this curriculum, super enthused to see patients, and my practice was moderately busy, but I just didn't know some of the basics in business. I didn't realize that sometimes when you submit a claim to the insurance company, it can take them 2 to 3 months to reimburse you, and you might only get $10, $15 in the mail. Anyone know that feeling? Well, I'm sure you do, but that was a rude awakening for me. So I had maxed out my credit cards, got this $130,000 student loan debt, and it really got to a point one time where I was so, in debt and really desperate that my ex-girlfriend's father had to cut me a check for $2,000 just to float me along to the next period. And I thought to myself, man, I'm a great technician, I'm a great chiropractor. What is going on here? I'm getting some referrals, but I'm just missing this business element. And right around that time, I started connecting with books Psychology or Influence the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, E-Myth by Michael Gerber, where I learn about purchase behavior, why people make the buying decisions that they make, and I learn about the technician, manager, and the entrepreneur side of any business, including a chiropractic practice. So that really opened my eyes. And also around that time, a little social network called MySpace came along. This was about 2005, 2006. Turns out there was something to this whole social media thing, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. That's really all it was. And I began to use this network, and eventually that started to turn into people in my office. And as the numbers grew, other colleagues were asking me, like, hey, Matt, what are you doing? How can I harness MySpace? And then, YouTube came along in 2006. Facebook opened publicly not long after that. It used to be just a college network, but other chiros were coming up to me and they were asking me, can you show me how to do this? And I began showing these doctors, and eventually I was showing so many doctors, then they were referring their friends from other professions, that I had to think about, okay, well, how do I package my knowledge and expertise into something online so I can still take care of patients? Then I had to figure out how to do that, and eventually, as my secondary source of income overcame my primary, I thought, it's amazing that all these doctors are coming to me, and if I could help thousands of doctors reach millions of patients, that's pretty darn cool. So my career accidentally veered into consulting right around that time. And I've been fortunate to speak all over the profession, and including prestigious stages like NASDAQ and on the campus of Harvard. So social media, if you do it right, can bring you into many different areas and allow you just some amazing platforms. It allows you to become more influential. You can help more people make more money, and you can connect with some powerful A players or celebrities locally or even internationally. This is was actually a dream experience of mine. Got to go ahead and hang out with Sir Richard Branson with part of my mastermind group. Imagine a billionaire philanthropist serving you lamb tandoori in a pirate costume on his private island. It's pretty insane where this stuff has taken me. So if I sound passionate, like the internet or social media can help you, well, it's because I come from firsthand experience, and I've trained over 8,400 chiropractors just as clients, and an extra 20,000 plus have went through my free trainings, and probably a lot more have went through my tutorials. So I'm not coming at you from a perspective of not being in the trenches, or that I just took an online course last week and now I'm training chiropractors like you see all over the place. So I want you to understand that what I have to say is really powerful and can transform your life, so you're able to reach and impact more people and connect with major influencers. So that's a little bit of context. Now let's dig into the presentation. 4 main ways to achieve top Google rankings. Here they are. Number one, you can do it with Google AdWords. This is basically where you pay Google to be on top of the search engine. You've probably seen the ads. If you search chiropractor Atlanta, the first 2 or 3 ads you see will be sponsored listings for Google AdWords, and you can pay for those, which you'll pay in some instances $5 per click, sometimes $10 per click. That is search traffic, so it can be very valuable, but it is expensive. It's not normally where I recommend you go first, but you can certainly shortcut to the top and rank really fast using paid ads with Google. The second thing is Google My Business, aka Google Maps. And I recently did a webinar about Google Maps. This is where, again, you search, let's say, chiropractor in Atlanta, and after the sponsor listings, just below that, you will see the top 3, usually maps listings with stars in them, ratings and reviews. That's prime real estate, arguably the most valuable real estate on Google. So you definitely want to dial that in. In fact, in my flagship training, Social Media Elite, I have an entire module dedicated to Google My Business because it's so important. And yes, you should learn some of this stuff yourself. Doesn't make sense to outsource it all to a company, and if you part ways with them, then your Google My Business listing might sink. We don't want that to happen. This is free, mind you. It doesn't cost you anything to optimize that listing. The third way to achieve top Google rankings are with YouTube videos. YouTube, if you title, tag, and describe them right, you can still rank at the first page for many keywords in local markets. And I have an entire module on that in my flagship training, Social Media Elite. Today's discussion is going to be website SEO, which all that means is getting your chiropractic website ranked at the top of Google. SEO just stands for what they call search engine optimization, and I'm going to explain it and give you some tools and resources that will help you along the line. Let's discuss the 14 most influential SEO factors. A lot of doctors get tripped up here, or they always come up to me and they say, "Hey Matt, I'm doing all these things and I should be ranking at the top of Google. Why am I not?" And it's usually because there's something wrong with one of these 14 things. Write them down. Number one is your content. Your website has to have a large amount of quality, unique content. The longer, the better. Consistently, they do studies and they figure out that the long form written content outperforms short form. Now, you can always even have a ghostwriter help you writing content. And the freshness. If you have content that's produced every single week, that is a vote in your favor in the eyes of Google versus a website or a local competitor that hasn't produced a blog post or a new page of the site in 6 months or 5 years. That is important. Content. Number two is domain power. Exact match domains always weigh more than other domains. For instance, if you're a chiropractor in Atlanta and you have atlantachiropractor.com, Google is automatically going to place you higher. Now, that doesn't mean you can't rank high with another domain name. It just favoritism is given to exact match domains. Seniority. If you actually have a domain for 5 years, well, that matters. Or if you've had it online for 10 years versus somebody that just created a domain name a year ago, well, the seniority does matter. It has more credibility. HTTPS, a secured website. This matters now more than ever. So I'm assuming your website host should have that taken care of for you. Double check with them and make sure. The domain registration length. If you registered your domain for 10 years, Google knows you're serious. So you're not going anywhere. You're not a spam company, fly by night. And also the history. If you have any spam complaints or black hat use on this domain previous, let's say, to when you bought it, that can also affect the way that you rank on Google. Those are very important to understand. Brand power, also known as publisher authority. As you develop brand equity in the marketplace, as you publish content, video, articles, press releases, as people like and share your stuff, as you build your lists, your social followings, you start to build your brand, a legit brand. Google really values this in terms of ranking a website. So you consistently have to be building your brand, creating new content, building your follower base, since this is a ranking factor. If you haven't really put much time into it, let's say you have a big referral practice and that's all you've done, which has been offline. Yeah, you have a website, but no one's really searching for your practice because you haven't put it out there and used, let's say, Facebook advertising or Google AdWords or some of these other channels that we're talking about. Well, you're going to be notched down in the brand power. So even if you have a referral practice, you got to dial this stuff in. User experience. Do you have pop-ups all over the place? Is it hard for people to navigate on your website? Is the text too small? Does the website look like it was from the 1980s? This does factor in your ranking. User experience matters a great deal. So you got to go up with your webmaster and check into those things. Page load speed. You can go right now on Google and just type in page load speed checker, and you'll probably find many different websites that'll tell you how fast your pages are. And if you get grades C, D, F, well, you've got some work to do. Hopefully your webmaster can certainly take care of that and increase your page load speed. But more and more nowadays, people are so impatient. They don't want to wait 2 seconds for a website to load. Google understands that. So page load speed has to be at the top of your considerations for optimizing your website so you can rank high. Voice. Voice search is a big deal, not just on smartphones, but also smart speakers in houses all over the board, especially the population of 40 and above. Over half of those individuals right now are using some type of voice search. So your website and your content should be optimized for voice. Mobile friendliness. All websites nowadays need to be mobily optimized. It means when you take it out with your smartphone, it should be nice, clean, easy to read, not necessarily super small text and everything else going on, because Google can dock you in the rankings if your website is not mobile friendly. Time on the website. This is still a big factor. If somebody comes to your website and they bounce off within 5 seconds, well, That's not a good thing. That can hinder your website traffic and your rankings. But if people are staying on the site for 2, 3, 5 minutes, that's phenomenal. The goal is to increase the time on your site. When you do it, it positively impacts you in the search. Relevance. Google is all about relevant content. So you can't just put up anything that is bad or isn't relevant, whether it's links to other websites or other articles and or keywords that might not even be related to either chiropractic and or neuromusculoskeletal stuff or whatever the I would say the popular Google opinion is, right? So relevance is very important. Don't have things that are totally unrelated on the site. A lot of confusion about this next one. Links do matter, backlinks. This is where you're getting links from other properties like YouTube, or maybe it's a guest blog post that you did. Maybe it's a local newspaper magazine. These things still matter. They're like votes online. Typically, the more authority links you have, the higher you rank in the search. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise or that links don't matter. It's just how you get the links that matters. You can't just automatically have 100 links pointing to your site, get them over a day with those links with the text in them like Atlanta Chiropractor. Well, that's a no-no, and Google will definitely ding your site so you drop in the rankings. They have to be sourced in a professional manner, and they've got to look natural. They are still important. So whether you're using YouTube, your blogs, or you're trying to submit posts for guest content, you want to make sure you're able to get a link. Linkless mentions still do matter. This kind of speaks for itself, meaning if your practice or your brand name is mentioned on a different website, and if it's an authority publication, Google sees all that stuff. So that actually goes along with the reputation, the brand equity side of things, how your brand power is. Website metadata. This is on your chiropractic website, the internal pages, your title, your meta title, your meta description, meta keywords, and there are many other factors that deal with the on-site metadata, which your webmaster can probably handle. That's one of the low-hanging fruit things that you should certainly be optimized for the keywords you want to rank for. Chiropractor, Phoenix, Arizona, or whatever that is for you. So make sure your metadata is optimized. You need to have a working sitemap. Makes it easier for Google to crawl the site. Nothing has really changed there. Social shares make a big impact, not as much as a lot of the other factors, but they're increasing. So if your website, if your content gets socially shared a lot on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any other platform, Google does track this information. Is this stuff making sense so far? Hopefully it is. Hopefully you're writing this down and receiving a lot of value. If you are, just type yes in the chat so we know. I love doing these presentations for you. So much kind feedback, and I want to see you really take things to the next level. So let's get into the next part. Write these down too. 21 keywords every chiropractor must rank for in 2020. The first one, obviously, chiropractor in your town. You can submit this list to your webmaster, by the way, too, for optimization of some of these key terms. And then we can do some strategic optimization with the content that you produce, like videos, like I talk about in my social media elite training. Chiropractors in your town is another one. Your town chiropractor. Your town, your state abbreviation chiropractor. For instance, Troy MI chiropractor, Troy, Michigan chiropractor. Your town chiropractic. Slight variations, but sometimes you don't always rank for all those keywords. If you just have, let's say, one keyword optimized. Doctor of chiropractic in your city. Chiropractic physician in the city. Chiropractor near local landmark. For instance, here in Marietta, Georgia, about 50 minutes from where I live, there's a place called the Big Chicken. And if you went to Life, you know where that is. A lot of people say, oh yeah, we're 10 minutes from the Big Chicken. Well, there's probably people right now searching chiropractor near the Big Chicken in Marietta. So make sure that you've optimized, you've created content for those terms. Your zip code chiropractor. Some people do quick zip searches. Chiropractor, your zip, the opposite way. Chiropractic, your zip code. Your zip code chiropractic. Chiropractic offices, your zip code. Chiropractic offices, your town. And you, of course, you could add best chiropractor, best chiropractic offices with those. Your town chiropractor reviews. People search for chiropractors by reviews for sure. And yes, Google comes up and Yelp comes up, but you may be able to optimize content to get ranked for those terms as well, or your website. Specialty chiropractor, your town, for example, sports chiropractor, Atlanta, Georgia. Pediatric chiropractor, Phoenix, Arizona. You get the idea. Dog chiropractor, and wherever. Best chiropractor, your town, talked about that. Your name reviews. That's important because people are looking every day for your name. Dr. John Smith reviews, or Dr. John Smith, Troy, Michigan reviews. Your practice name reviews. Want to make sure not only do you have your Google Maps and Yelp taken care of there, but you also have content ranked for this keyword and potentially your website. Your practice name complaints. This is one that a lot of doctors don't even think about, but listen, we all know a negative review is going to happen periodically because we see so many patients, and that's just how people are these days. Mrs. Jones she might have had a bad morning, get splashed by a puddle, who knows, maybe her dog died, and she's got to wait 15 minutes longer in the reception area, and so she just goes and rips you a new one on Google, Yelp, and the rip-off report. Who knows? You just never know, so it's better to plan accordingly before that negative thing happens. Your practice name scam. The same exact thing with complaints. You'd want to have some website content ranked for it, a video content, potentially a review site ranked, all these things for these terms. Here's some bonus keywords for you though. Your city chiropractor that accepts insurance. For example, Atlanta chiropractor that accepts Blue Cross insurance. People search for that every day. In fact, that's one of the most common questions if you do take insurance. Chiropractors near me. Imagine if you would have had these keywords and ranking factors dialed in just 6 months ago. If all of this stuff, whether it's from your website angle, your people are helping you optimize it from that angle, you're learning a lot of what I'm teaching you about how to optimize and rank your content high on Google search, not just using Google, but YouTube and all these other platforms and channels. Imagine how much different your life would be, your practice. Imagine how much more traffic you'd be getting to your listings. How many more new patients would you passively be attracting from Google each and every single month? Going back to what I mentioned before, this could easily be an extra 5 to 10 new patients that you're just leaving on the table because these things haven't been optimized. And in a best case scenario, it might be an extra 30 to 40 new patients per month that I've seen before with some clients in pretty big cities. This is interesting stuff. How much easier and less stressful would your life be right now? Listen, I know that new patient acquisition can sometimes be interesting and a little bit stressful, right? Because you got all these things, you're juggling so much as a doctor and practitioner. Maybe you don't have as many efficient systems as you need to have in place. When you dial in Google, that's just one of those things that's nice because it produces every month. I can tell you stories from clients that have dialed this in and they've been ranked at the top of Google for many years because they've done things by the book, not just their chiropractic website, but also their Google Maps listing. And it's produced a consistent stream month after month for them. Google's not going anywhere. People are not going to stop searching. So how much more of an impact in your community would you be making? We're doctors. We want to help as many people as we can and certainly play a bigger game. This allows you to do that, especially when you combine Google with other social media strategies. And how much more money would you be collecting every month? This might be an extra $2,000 for some of you. It could be an extra $20,000 in extra revenue as you get all of these Google factors dialed in. Mistakes to avoid. Black hat marketing tactics. Don't try to go after the newest trick or gimmick when it comes to Google. They will find you and eventually they will blackball your site and flag. And I've seen it happen. Sometimes they just change their terms of service, like the linking example that I gave earlier. White hat SEOs were using that same linking strategy and they put the hammer down. So anything that seems like you're trying to game the system is a big no-no with Google. Avoid this mistake. Too good to be true SEO services. If they're promising you 30 new patients from Google search next month, well, it's most likely not going to happen. SEO is a long game. It doesn't typically happen overnight, especially these days. So be careful when you hire a service. Inconsistency. This is probably the kiss of death. You need something little by little that will definitely fuel your practice every day. Just do a little. Eventually, that adds up in a big way later on. Not getting started. It's 2020. Everyone uses Google to search, and they combine it with social media. If you don't have a large presence on these platforms, you're sunk. People trust you less. Kind of like if you didn't have a large presence in the Yellow Pages 20 years ago. People distrusted you. That is the consumer mindset these days. Mistake number 5 is going at it without professional guidance. Yeah, you could learn this stuff alone, but it's going to take you a year, 2 years, and 5 hours a day to really put your nose in the books and study all this. I mean, that's a very, I don't think that's an intelligent way to do it, honestly, even though you could. I was try to align with mentors who have shortcuts. I've encountered any obstacle and challenge you'll face with Google, the internet, and social media marketing. You don't have to go at it alone. You don't have to get stuck, risk any complications. Understand that. I'm here by your side. But you need to understand the pillars of online marketing. Search engine optimization is one important pillar for sure. Then you've got the reputation, social proof management aspect like Google Maps, Yelp, etc. Then you've got your pay-per-click, AdWords, Facebook stuff. Organic social marketing like Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, online video, YouTube, live streaming apps like Facebook, blogging, microblogging like Twitter, photo sharing, Pinterest, Instagram, news releases, and publicities. And publicity. All these things should be dialed in to make for a very large Google proof social media presence. I love Google, but you got to be smart about it. Google might change their algorithm and bam, you're sunk. That's happened so many times in the past, I can't even begin to count. So have your eggs in different baskets. You need to diversify online. And then you've got your pillars set up like the Parthenon. If one goes down, bam, you've got all these other ones supporting the structure. So let me ask you this. What type of chiropractor are you? Sometimes on these presentations, I'll see doctors, and they come to me with questions, and you found this information valuable, but you're probably not going to do anything with it. I hope that's no one because it's 2020, and we need to start marketing our practices like it's the year we actually live in. The second type of doctor that you might be, maybe you found this information valuable. You know that Google's not going anywhere, social media is not going anywhere, and you want to master the game. You want to commit to it little by little, and you want to associate with somebody that's been where you are, that's done that, that's helped thousands of people. And maybe you're even right now generating an extra few new patients a month. Now, the third type of doctor you might be, maybe Google is working really well for you in other social platforms. You're attracting 20 plus new patients per month. You're helping a lot of people, but you know you're capable of more. And regardless of what category you fall into, especially 2 and 3, I'd like to introduce you to Social Media Elite, which is my flagship training. This is a home study training that has over 60 video tutorials that guide you step by step into all of these channels. It's created by a chiropractor, myself, that's worked with a lot of people. It works for any type of practice. Doesn't matter if you're just a straight chiropractor, personal injury, functional medicine, neurology, weight loss. I mean, any type of practice. And there's a 6-month money back guarantee. No doctors ever return it because one new patient more than pays for the entire system. But I give you a large amount of time to try it and to get some momentum going. As this thing really starts to go, eventually that snowball will turn into an avalanche. Now, here's what a couple clients had to say just about their experiences with Social Media Elite. Dr. Alex Eatley, he's out of the UK. He says, I love your stuff. And he goes on to say, I've implemented a handful of your strategies in Social Media Elite, and Social Media made me rich. The practice has blown up over the last 3 years. Last 4 to 6 months, we've averaged 49 new patients a month, 70% from the internet. That's incredible. That shows you the potential. And I certainly don't promise anything, but you can kind of see where it can go very quickly. And Christopher says, I jumped in, did everything very quickly. What Matt says, past 4 weeks, I've gotten 21 calls from people that have seen my posts, videos, or website. Before that, I got 0. That's pretty darn cool. Aaron Wall says, thanks for another great call. You really are a great servant. Anyone that wants to grow their online presence should be using your program. It's been the most valuable program I've ever purchased, and that's like the ultimate compliment for me. Sean Mateo says, 7 new patients in the last 5 days, all but one from Google searches, and that was directly referral from an MD. Thanks, Matthew Loop. Ricardo says Social Media Elite is a great course. I've been studying it and applying what Matthew teaches in the course for the past 2.5 months. Now I'm on page 1 in Google. Google Places, done. YouTube videos are next. Donnie says, thank you for the information and your willingness to share it. Since starting the Facebook stuff, we're getting 2 to 3 new patients per week, and that doesn't include any from organic Google search. We weren't even ranking for Chiro before. The first 5 pages, now number 5 on page 1. Love it. Doug says, your strategies have played a large role in doubling my practice in the last 6 months, and if I'm to be honest, haven't implemented all that much of it yet. And Andy says, we're here in the UK Chiropractors and Osteopathic Center. We've got Social Media Elite from you a few years ago. 60 to 100 views per day. Average new patients in the clinic, 60 per month. 40 are coming from the internet. And Dr. Ryan Browning says, I bought Social Media Elite a couple years ago. Buying the program has been the biggest factor in our growth. Literally do a handful of everything in the program and have seen awesome results. And then Dr. Ryan says, and Dr. Ryan has about 8 clinics in the United Kingdom. He's generated thousands of new clients and relationship using the strategies that I helped him and his team implemented. So this is a very powerful training course, and what you get are tutorials that relate to everything from search engine optimization. I walk you step by step, guide you by the hand so you can look over my shoulder so you don't have to guess at any of this stuff. Facebook organic referral marketing strategies, how to tap into the world's largest social network, not just for the free traffic, but also their advertising. And I give you sample ads to swipe to make it easy to start testing this stuff. Google My Business, formerly Google Plus Local, Google Maps. You'll learn how to harness that directly. And as I mentioned before, I feel that's the most valuable real estate on the platform personally, because most people use Google to search and they want to see reviews and feedback. YouTube, I'll show you how to rank YouTube videos on the first page of Google, as well as show you just different methods. And if I had to credit one platform for getting me well known long before Facebook advertising was a thing, it was YouTube. People started watching my videos and they felt like they were knowing, liking, and trusting me before they ever set foot in my office and started buying my stuff online. So it's really powerful when you can dial it in. Now the puck has shifted a lot. People are migrating to Instagram like crazy because it's almost like Facebook without the whining. So in this course, I also show you how to harness Instagram to attract more new patients, do contests, to get likes, to do all this stuff so you can build your influence very quickly on the hottest social network right now. LinkedIn is a big deal, and it mostly consists of professionals generating over $80,000 per year in personal income. It's an affluent network, and I show you how to use their advertising platform to connect with the right people so you can build your practice. TikTok is next. I like you to plant seeds over here because I think that there's something going on that's going to really blow up. It's the most downloaded app in the App Store. So, of course, I include a training in that, a separate module on TikTok in Social Media Elite. So you'll get access to that as well. Blog marketing, Twitter marketing for doctors. If you dial Twitter in, you could literally attract patients in a few minutes based on Twitter's live real-time search. And I show you how to harness that. I show you how to outsource and leverage so you can ultimately delegate some of this stuff. You need to learn a fraction of it before you delegate. I've worked with some of the most successful practices in the world, and they've all done this. Get a feel for what's going on and then outsource and leverage accordingly, but still have your finger on the pulse. I also give you a quick start manual and a task list so you know exactly what to do. I give you a 3,000 foot bird's eye view of the whole thing. Eventually, all that will get implemented, but certainly don't let it overwhelm you as you get started. One thing at a time. Just remember that. One thing at a time. And a lot more. What the course will do for you is it'll finally give you a strategy. This is what separates doctors that attract an extra 5 to 10 new patients per month versus those that attract an extra 30 to 40 plus using Google and the internet. You'll also get traffic. It might not be your website's fault that you're not getting patients in the office. You just might not have enough traffic. So this actually shows you, this course, how to get just an avalanche of visitors to your website so we can really ramp things up. And I show you how to get top Google rankings. It's very reliable. It's all white hat, by the book. You're not going to have to worry about this stuff going out of favor with Google next year. And I show you how to turn your content into an unstoppable public relations machine you couldn't turn off even if you wanted to. And ultimately, the byproduct of all of this is attracting more new patients in your office every single month from Google and the internet. Plus, you learn a set of skills that will pay you for years to come. This is not like a postcard drop where you've got one crack at it and then you get the result maybe in the next week or the 2 weeks following the postcard drop. You can set up systems, and these systems can feed you for many years to come. Listen, if you don't have the time, then it's time to really prioritize. Take out an hour of TV every single day. Most doctors are on the computer an hour a day, that much anyway. It's just about turning it into productive time to market your office. In fact, I'd probably say you need more like 30 minutes every single day. You don't have to be a tech genius or computer geek to make it work either. We've had some complicated courses in school like biochemistry, and this is much easier, honestly. Is it new learning? Yes, but it is easier. Professional guidance and mentorship. This is what my program offers for you, and you can bounce any ideas off me. You have unlimited email access plus a fast track call. The investment is normally $597 for this training. It sells every day for that price, but you're not going to invest that right now on this webinar. For this webinar, you've got a limited time opportunity to save 37%. You'll get a $220 discount when you take action and click the big yellow-orange add to cart button right now. So you'll invest just a one-time $377. And not only that, we'll throw in $3,288 in free bonuses for this training. The first one, like I said, is a private consult with me. I realize your practice is probably different than the doctor down the street, so I'll help tailor the information to your practice so you can hit the ground running full speed and such. You'll get exclusive access to our members-only Facebook group. I attached a value here, $997, but that's honestly priceless. We've got over 1,500 members in this group right now. I answer questions in there a lot of times. I post new trainings in there periodically as well, and many of our doctors are happy to answer your questions as well. There's a powerful community that happens there. You'll get access to the 365 chiropractic graphics package. If you ever run out of an idea or don't know what to post on social media, you can use one of these graphics. That's a $197 value. The 3-day new patient machine, which is a $97 value, shows you how to use your email list and turn that into either a reactivation sequence, or you can, if you've got a list of prospective patients, you can send this to them and that can help attract more people in your office just from your email list. You get unlimited email support, free course updates for life. I'm not going to have a social media elite 2.0. Once you're in, you're always in. And I have doctors that still email me 5 years later and they say, hey, can I get an update? And I say, absolutely. And they're always surprised, like, wow, like it worked, but that's the reality. If you put your confidence in me and you invest, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure you're successful and that you have the newest updates. Here's what to do next. If you like the idea of attracting an extra 30, 40 or more new patients per month without spending money on traditional advertising and doubling your practice in the next 6 months or less, click the big yellow or orange add to cart button that you see on this webinar page, and you'll get instant access to the trainings after you're in. Now, once you're in, make sure that you check your junk and your spam. Sometimes the welcome email is filtered there. And if you don't see it in, let's say, 15, 20 minutes after your order, go ahead and send a quick email to Anna at info, that's INFO, at DCINCOME, info at dcincome.com. Just email Anna. She can go ahead and send you over that welcome email, but more than likely it's in your junk and your spam folder. You know how crazy it is these days, so make sure you safe list the email as well. A lot of doctors ask me about private coaching. Right now we're on a waiting list, but if you like to have that personal one-on-one guidance, the weekly coaching time with me to train your staff, then you can certainly send a message and email about that, and we can let you know when the next spot opens up. My average coaching client recoups their investment within the first 30 days. It's definitely a higher priced program, but it is an investment, and it's a skill set that will pay you for years and years to come. Info at dcincome.com is the website where you can email my assistant if by chance you don't get the information after you order it. And I'll leave you with this. An idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan. We've got a lot of chiropractors right now that have big hearts. Unfortunately, they don't have a plan when it comes to the internet, Google, or social media. They're just haphazardly throwing stuff on the wall, hoping it's going to stick. Some of it does, but they never really get the results, whether that's the impact that they want to make in their community, whether that's the new patients they want to see, or the monthly revenue in their practice. Social Media Elite is a game plan for you. It's the last social media game plan that you'll ever need if you're committed to implementing this system. I get testimonials and success stories every single day. I mean, there's probably hundreds online just with me posting them on Facebook and on the sales page. There's an extra 30 something on that. So I'm here to support and serve you any way that I can. I want to see you really move forward and realize your potential nowadays. There's so much power at our fingertips. So you tell me, what's it going to be? Don't go at it alone. I'd like to help you, give you that professional guidance, walk you by the hand. And if you ever have anything or questions, look me up on social media at Matthew Loop. I hope you have a fantastic day. Click the orange or yellow big add to cart button. Get started with Social Media Elite, and I'll see you on the inside. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.